Hi guys, and welcome back to Factorio Vanilla. This is episode 32, and I'm your host, Glitch. So, last time, we got some work done on making some speed modules over here, and one of the things that I highlighted for us, if we look down here, is we're not actually producing longhand inserters anywhere in the factory, especially not somewhere that's connected to the network. So, we want to remedy this because as time goes on, we are going to want to build more things that use the logistics network. I'm going to want to build more things that actually require more components going on. So let's put that in place now. We've already got fast inserters here, so it's actually fairly easy to put in. If we take that one out and get rid of this as well for a second, should be fairly easy to put in. So what I'm going to do is drop that there and this here, and I'm just going to move things around a little bit so things can be placed in such a way that I can actually do this efficiently. I'll talk through what I'm actually doing in just a second, but I'm going to need a few longhand inserters, a few fast inserters to do this. So, what am I doing? Well, we want to keep the fast inserter inserting iron plate into here. Want iron plate going into this side as well. Then our longhand inserter is going to take the normal inserters and put them into here. And finally, to line the whole thing up, we need an inserter from this, which will be making gears, and iron into gears. So that does all of that, and then we can put this last one in as an output to a provider chest. And we don't want to have hundreds of these, so I think 2 stacks will probably be fine. So if we just tell this to make, where it's gone, gear wheels, and this one can make the longhand inserters, then as soon as I actually give the whole thing power, there you go. That will start producing, and our drones can now start automatically filling in the gaps that we had over there. And you can see the yellow flashing lights, which is just to indicate that something needs to be put in. So with that done, what do we want to do next? Well, we're running short on green circuits, so it's worth fixing that, and part of the problem with the green circuits is we just don't have enough iron coming in. So what can we do about that? Well, we've already capped out as much as we can with this field and this field, so I think it's time to look at bringing in iron from further away, and I think that's a good place to bring it in from. So we're going to need a train line in place to do this. So to do that, it's probably worth putting a train line across here somewhere, and we can use this as a blueprint for a station and this as a blueprint for a station, so we can actually get a lot of that done fairly easily. So if I just make another blueprint, because that way we can have 2 of them and do 1 each. We can take a blueprint of this station up here somewhere. So where's our empty blueprint? There it is. And I think we can get rid of some of these. You can get rid of pieces by right-clicking on them, although once they are taken out they can't be put back into the blueprint. But that's okay, because that just gives us our what we want to build bit, and we can also work out how to hook things up afterwards. So if I click create blueprint, that's now done. I can stash that because we don't need it just yet. The next thing we're going to need is the output station, which if I run up here, yeah, as you can see, we're not using much of this at all. We're only using the top third maybe, so we could actually put a lot more ore into this and keep it all running. But this will deplete fairly quickly at this point, especially if we start putting speed modules and things in there. But in the meantime, let's grab a blueprint of this as well, so we can get that all ready as well. So right click on this one, we don't need this anymore, so we can clear it and then create a fresh blueprint of the entire section. So there you go. That's brilliant, so that's our output station. And can we fit this in here already? We might be able to. Now, will it have enough room to have an output? That's the question. I think the answer is probably yes. So let's stamp that down. And there's a few things that it won't be able to make yet because we don't have enough fast inserters and we don't have a station in place. But we can probably make some of those. Nope, we can't make those. What we can do is we could hook it up to the logistics network, because this is something we're going to want to cover by the logistics network anyway. So if we just run down here, that can go to there. And we'll have to wait for that to actually get hooked up before we can do it. So in the meantime, we'll come back up here, we'll place the one up here, just so we can actually see where things are going to go. So that can go to there. Can we now stretch this between the two of them? Yes, we can. And we need to give it some power as well. That will do for power. Why are my drones travelling so slowly? Not sure. We're being attacked somewhere, but it looks like we're being attacked by there, which is strange, because there's nothing really in range, but whatever we were being attacked by, it seems to be fought off. I think it's worth putting a radar up here, just so I can actually see what's going on. So let's quickly make one of those. And where can I put that? That can go in there. So that's our rocket silo produced, or finished rather. We finished researching it. So that means that we can now actually make all the various bits and pieces. Are we making concrete yet? I can't remember. No, we're not making concrete yet anywhere. So that's something we can do at some point. But before we move on to making concrete, let's try and secure this extra iron for us and check that there's no extra bases that I haven't spotted anywhere that are bringing trouble in. Doesn't seem to be. So I wonder where that came from, but never mind. We'll just have to figure that out as it goes. But now that that's been taken care of, we should find now that the only things it can't produce are the lamps and... there you go, here's all the rest of the bits we need. The lamps and the engine... not the engine units. The station. So we should be able to make a station. No, because we're out of steel. We're making lamps. Yes, we've got lamps, so we can use our robots to put the lamps in. And if we run down here, we can grab some steel, and that gives us the last of what we need for that bit then. It would be useful if we give this some power as well. So let's make two of those, that way we can have one ready for the other end when we need it. So coming up here, we've got the furnace area copper input 1, and then Eric Hasselmeyer, looks like Hasselmeyer. Eric Hasselmeyer can be renamed to be furnace iron input 1. So there's no trains coming to it just yet. But we can remove these two, because they're done with, which means we can actually run our train line up here. And that can join on here somewhere. Or we probably need to remove some trees first. Get rid of them. And let's try this again. There you go, so that's now connected to network. And obviously we want it to be able to loop back out, so we're going to have to do something similar to this, which means we might need to move these down a little bit, but we can handle that in just a second. So will this actually come out far enough? Trying to find a good spot. Just about. So we definitely need to remove some of that. But that's okay, we can do this and then replace it in a moment. So we need just a little bit more space than we've got. There you go. And it's tight, but it will just about fit in there. So if we remove this, and this bit as well. Now this might not be the best way to do it, so I might want to come back to this at a later date and actually adjust this slightly. But for the time being, this will serve what we want it to do. So this will then tie into there. So as soon as that stretch of rail is placed by the robots, we'll then have a loop which will hook up correctly. Why is that not being placed? Presumably it's because it's reserved by... Yeah, it looks like they're being reserved by bots coming up with them, logistics network. Anyway, so we've got the second line in place now. So let's take it across here. Now you won't hear me coughing because I'm muting the audio when it does happen, but I do still have quite a bad cough, so I do apologise if it looks like I'm sort of blanking you for a moment at times. I probably am, because I can't breathe and I'm turning the mic off to cough off screen rather than on screen. But I'm not intending to blank you, and as soon as my throat actually gets better, I would love to stop doing it. So this is going to have to start winding across at this point. And then we can wind it around then here. So I think what we're going to have to do is cut a swathe through the forest here and then have a bit coming down to tail on with. And that might not make much sense as I'm saying it, but I'll plot it out in a moment and hopefully then that will make more sense. Now thinking about it, I think we probably still have, yes we do, 2 personal shields on, so we can take one of those off and put another roboport on, and that will increase the amount of robots we can use at any given time, so that should hopefully speed things up a bit. You can see that our battery is draining quite quickly when we've got all these robots going, so maybe having another battery or 2 might be an idea as well. We don't have it's the steel that we're lacking at the moment to do that with. So let's continue to cut through this path of forest here. And meanwhile, we can start to connect this up again. So that can come along to there. And at this point we can bring our blueprint up, which... is that the unload or the load? I think that's the load blueprint. That'd be the unload, yep. So we'll use this one, rotate it slightly, and we're going to have to figure out where this will actually connect. So let's just grab some rail from here. And bring it down. There you go. And then we can figure out where this will fit. So there looks reasonable. And we'll have to be careful because this is quite close to this one up here, so maybe I will have to take this out at some point. But looking at this is actually probably running the wrong way now, because we want all the ore to come down from here and onto this, which would actually be better to bring down from the top rather than the bottom in this case. But we can set this up now to mine until out. There you go, and we're probably going to need more transport belt than we've got, so we might have to go for a resupply in a moment. But if we bring this... actually, where does this come out? I suppose we could bring it down and around. So just hook all this up, and on this side. And we're going to need some power poles as well. So what are we missing? We don't have enough chests by the looks of things. Well, that's okay, we can always sort them in a moment. So now that we've got this all set up, we need to power the whole thing, which means connecting it all up to... I suppose we are close enough to this. Oh, I don't want to connect it to that though, because that would be bad, because that would be on the wrong side of this gate. So I actually want to connect it up to... and there's a large pole there anyway. I want to connect it up to this pole here. Do I have enough of anything? Yes, I can make a few large electric poles still. So that hooks up. We've got our lighting in place. We'll wait for these two drones to come back and join me. So these can now start producing. Let's put some lights in there as well. And it's worth putting some defence down up here as well, because we don't want to be attacked. And then we probably don't have enough, but we can try. If we bring this across this side, and use a splitter where? There, I think seems like the best plan. That can be rotated. Take this out, take that one out. And then this side can be brought down as well. Now again, I think we'll probably run out of belt before this finishes, but we'll just go as far as we can and then we'll restock. So once again, this can be split. In fact, let's split it there. Take that up, put that sideways, and get rid of these two. And we've now should have... Yep, so these will come in and fill up these. Why are we not placing that lamp? Oh, we have placed the lamp, it just looks greyed out still. So we're going to need, what, more fast inserters and more passive provider chests. That's fine, I can run back and get those. And while I'm doing that, do we have trains and things in stock? We've got locomotives, yes. Do we have the cargo wagons? No, but we can produce one of those. And if I grab some more iron and more steel, we can produce a second one as well. So while we're waiting for that to finish, let's get on with some research. It doesn't really matter what we research at this point, because we've got the rocket silo, that's the big one. So let's go for automation 3. And we'll just scoot through a few of the smaller research now to improve just our efficiency at doing a couple of things. So if I grab that, I suppose as we've got the surplus, we can start to fill that up again. Grab some of this as well. And we swap this out, so we don't want 100 iron plate anymore, we now want 100 inserters. We still don't have the ability to dump stuff automatically. So in fact, let's stop automation 3 for a second and see where the logistics trash slots are. There they are. So that should actually go fairly quickly. Yep, you can see that zipping along. So as soon as that's done, I'm going to tell it to dump everything that we don't want into logistics trash slots. So then we can clear out our coal, we can clear out... Actually, I might keep the coal so I can run the car. Yeah, because we've got the car in there, but I'll get rid of the wood, certainly. I don't need the wood. I don't need the alien artifacts either. Yeah, so another few seconds, we will get rid of those. In the meantime, though, I think we've done a reasonable job this episode of... We've set up the line, there's a couple of gaps where the blueprints are ready, but we've set up the line, so this is actually pretty much ready to go. I think we might want to look at doing a second line at this point, so one can go one direction, one can go the other direction, and then these can come off the side, which will require a little bit of rejigging. But I think that's probably a worthwhile place to end the episode. In fact, we're just about to finish that technology. Yep. So I won't start another one just yet, but let's put all of our wood into our logistics slots to be dumped. So we can now request things from the robots, and we can dump things to the robots to be got rid of. And with that in mind, I think that's not a bad place to call the episode. So this has been Factorio Vanilla, I've been your host Glitch, and I will see you next time.